What's up everyone, this is Sean, your physical therapy application coach. In this video, I'll be referencing some worksheets that you can use to help make your application process as simple and efficient as possible. To get access to these free worksheets and receive my monthly newsletter, bonus, pause the video and click on the link in the description down below. It will take you to my website where you can sign up to join my email list. Also, if you find the information in my videos to be valuable, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so you can keep up to date when I post new content. Now, let me get out of your way so you can enjoy the video. Alrighty guys, welcome to our first pit stop, academic planning. One of our big rocks, of course, is planning. And let's follow Mr. Lincoln's advice and create your future. So first things first, does what I major in really matter? This report right here is from the PTCast applicant data report from this past application cycle. And you can see that it's really heavy in the movement and health science majors. However, with that said, psychology is well represented, business is well represented, liberal arts as well. So I will make a plug that the movement and health science classes are often going to have built into their requirements for graduation a lot of the prerequisite courses that you need to take. They also will have a lot of hands-on labs that are really practical for when you come into PT school, and they'll help prepare you very well for those things. However, with that being said, what if you want to go another route? What if you do want to get a business degree, or you want to get a dance or a music degree? First of all, I commend you for your talents, and that's a great option, regardless of what you choose. But all I can say is, make sure that you do your homework and you know you're going to have enough room in your schedule to complete these prerequisite courses. Some of these majors, such as business or engineering, are very heavy in the amount of credits they require for their students to graduate, and these courses aren't easy either. So just make sure that your major isn't so heavy in credits that you're not going to have enough time to incorporate prerequisite courses. Otherwise, you might be in school a year or two longer than you initially plan on. I'd also say make sure you take some exercise or movement science courses or labs, because if you have time for it with the on top of the prerequisites, because this is just going to give you that advantage and that confidence going into PT school that I've been in a lab setting, I know how this works, I can do hands-on techniques with some of my classmates, and it just helps you to get that head start before you get into PT school. Without going off on too much of a tangent, I do want to make a plug for one more thing. I'd like to offer you some advice and say, on top of the courses that we want you to take, if you have any more room in your schedule, take some business classes. My original plan when I declared exercise science as my major was for me to just get done with school as quickly as I could so I could apply to PT school and get on with my life. And this all changed when I was sitting in an intro to health professions class, which is basically a lecture series where a bunch of different professionals in our community would come in and talk to us about their profession, what they did, kind of give us some exposure so we could figure out where we want to go in healthcare. And there was one day when a dentist came in, and he talked to us for about 10 minutes about dentistry, and then another 30 minutes about the importance of understanding that business and healthcare are always going to be interconnected. In fact, he even said this quote, "I know you all want to help people, but the more you understand about business as a healthcare professional, the more people you will be able to help." This was super impactful for me, and from here, I decided I wanted to learn more about business. So I went home, I started talking to some of my friends, and one of my best friends and roommate at the time, he helped me find the business management minor at BYU. and I started to take classes in accounting, economics, marketing, organizational behavior, and finance. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs to go in and get a minor in business, but at the very least, I would recommend you take some classes about marketing and economics, understanding how to develop a product and to market it to the public. And economics is all about understanding supply and demand and how the marketplace works. Super impactful, very important classes. And maybe there's even some of you who are like, well, I don't have time for any of those. At the very least, start listening to some podcasts. Start reading some articles about PT and business in general. And if you're looking for podcasts, maybe you could look up Mike Eisner, Jared Carter, Karen Litzy, or Paul Goff, or read some articles online. If you want to know more about these things, just leave a comment in the sections below and I'll send you to some resources. Either way, I just want you to know that having a knowledge of business and physical therapy will enable you to be able to challenge the status quo and to solve problems that currently afflict our patients, our communities, and ourselves as practitioners. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the most common prerequisite courses that you're going to have to take to be able to apply to school. Anatomy with a lab, physiology with a lab, chemistry, physics, biology, psychology, statistics, exercise physiology, and abnormal or developmental psychology. So all the bulleted ones, these are kind of the big ones, the main ones that pretty much all schools are going to require in some way, shape, or form. There's some schools who don't require as many biology classes, and exercise physiology and abnormal or developmental psych are so common that I wanted to include them because a lot of programs are requiring them now, and it's a change that's being made to prerequisite courses. So if you look at all these prerequisite courses and you add them together, that's an additional 30 to 40 credits depending on how your school distributes credits for courses. But that's a lot to add. That's 2 full semesters or a year. So you have to be able to figure out, how am I going to fit these in? And that takes some planning and preparation ahead of time. And just so you remember, not all schools have the same prerequisites. So we have an activity at the end, a call to action that's going to help you start to identify just some different schools and to figure out what these schools' prerequisites are. All right, here we go. So first and foremost, if you haven't already selected a major, look at some potential majors and minors that you can be able to declare that will fit well with your schedule, maybe that line up with a lot of the prerequisites that you have to take to get into school. Next thing I would suggest is to schedule a meeting with an academic counselor or an advisor. Now, your school is going to have these counselors available to you, but you need to come in and to have topics ready to discuss with them. So maybe you don't know what to major in. Maybe you don't know how to fit the prerequisite courses in with your schedule, or what these prerequisite courses might be. They might have a different course number than some of the other schools that you've looked at. And then you can also ask them about if there's additional resources that the school has to help you apply to graduate school. Our school had a very specific pre-professional advisement center that would help pre-law students, pre-med students, pre-PT students. They gave them very specific advice. And quite frankly, this was the pre-professional advisor was the person who helped me the most when applying to PT school. So ask about if there's any resources like that at your university. Maybe also ask about any business classes. Can I take a marketing or an economics class? So there's a worksheet attached to this section. It's questions 1 and 2 on the application timeline questionnaire. Answer those and then complete the schools of interest scavenger hunt, which is at the bottom of that same document, the application timeline questionnaire. And it's going to be an activity where you're going to actually start looking into schools that you want to apply to. And it's going to be really exciting. It's not set in stone. It doesn't mean you have to apply to these schools, but it's going to get your feet wet and get you thinking about, well, I'd like to apply here. I'd like to look into these schools more, and it'll start to help you map out, all right, this is in general the prerequisite courses I need to take, the number of shadowing hours, the GRE scores that I need to be aware of, and it'll be great. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. Good luck. Make sure you take these calls to action seriously, and we'll catch you around in the next video.